At least you know your clients over there.
Yeah. Okay, so so we started last week. We're talking about eating meat after dairy. So we want to wrap up the halacha. The goal for today is to wrap up the halacha l'ma'aseh, and then I want to switch over to the parasha.
So I asked my neighbor, the rabbi, what they do.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah, an hour between
Milk and
any type of milk. Wow.
except for certain kinds of cheeses, but not even milk.
Okay, so hard cheese. Okay, so if you remember, a little recap. On page 1 of the booklet, we wrote last week's parasha, Habasar Odenon ben Shinehem Teremi Karet, which means when the meat is still in the teeth, it shows it's still called meat. And the Gemara brought that halachically to show that if meat is in your teeth, then it's still called meat. And on page 2, which is actually page 3, we brought the Gemara here. And Rashi in the Gemara says that the reason why we don't eat dairy after meat, according to Rashi, is because the shuman, because of the fat of the meat and the enzymes and the flavor of the meat is still in your system. So Rambam holds not, right? The next page, I think it was.
There's like 2 different enzymes to digest
For the meat, for beef?
the
Oh, there, I don't know. Is that a fact? Yeah. She holds it's because of the ta'am. The ta'am of the meat is still in. So how could you have dairy when you have the ta'am and the shuman of the meat? On the next page, page 4, we brought last week the Rambam. The Rambam holds that the reason you don't eat dairy after meat is because the meat is still in your teeth. You can't get it out of your teeth. Not to do with flavor. It's just there's meat in your teeth. There's a machloket, Rashi and the Rambam. And we said over here in the Rambam on page 4, the Rambam says that if you eat chicken after dairy, you don't have to wait at all. Rambam said, chicken after dairy, no hadaha.
Chicken after dairy?
Chicken after dairy?
The Mishnah was usually dairy after meat. So
Yeah.
why are you...
We're going both, we're talking about both halachot. So Rambam says meat after dairy. The Gemara says meat after dairy. This Gemara here says meat after dairy, you have to do hadaha and kinui. You have to wash your mouth and you have to rinse your mouth. Clean your mouth and rinse your mouth. The Gemara said. How do you do that? By eating something parv, you're cleaning your mouth, and by drinking something, you're rinsing your mouth. You can also spit it out if you want, but you want to get your teeth involved. And then you can have meat after your dairy. Rambam says this is only basar, beef. But when it comes to off, if you want to have, let's say we're having now dairy, and then they want to bring the chicken poppers, you want to have them right away. Rambam says you don't have to rinse your mouth. You don't have to eat anything. You don't do anything. Just eat it. Why? Because chicken anyway is not meat mideoraita. Chicken is rabbinic. From the Torah, chicken is not meat. And so you don't have to be strict. Rambam says halacha l'ma'aseh. And the Ketef Mishneh, he writes over here on the bottom of page 4, what we spoke about last week, how it's mahloket Rashi and the Rambam. Rashi holds with the problem with meat is the flavors in your mouth, and Rambam holds the problem with meat is the meat is in your teeth. And the Ketef Mishneh says we should be strict for both reasons. And we're going to have a halacha following that. Come on. Thank you. Hey. You gotta get the meat out of your teeth. We're gonna read the halakha. And then Shulchan Aruch. We read Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, let's read the Shulchan Aruch one more time on page 5. If you eat dairy, you're allowed to have meat, beef right away. You have to just check your hands. There should be no dairy and cheese left in your hands. Pause. Rambam wrote, you have to wash your hands. Rambam has, you have to wash your hands after dairy, before meat. Just wash your hands.
Same table, same.
Clean the table. Wash your hands. Rambam holds. Eat hard. Eat and drink something. Shulchan Aruch holds, you don't have to wash your hands. Just look at your hands. Shulchan Aruch says, just look at them. But if it's nighttime, you can't see your hands, then you have to wash your hands. Okay? Now, let's see the Ramah over here. Ramah Israel is from the bottom here, on the first paragraph. Some are strict with beef after cheese. And is the custom, says the Ramah, the Ashkenaz custom. If it's hard cheese, and they don't even eat chicken after the hard cheese. Like the Zohar, he writes. Hmm?
When you say hard cheese, you would say that?
No, hard cheese means like aged hard cheese. We're gonna see in 1 second. Yeah, aged. Feta's not has to be aged. Hold on 1 second. We'll see. We'll see. I'll show you.
Parmesan is an aged cheese.
Man,
Parmesan, blue cheese is
blue cheese is aged. We're gonna see in 1 second. The Rama puts over here. V'chenu bezohar. Yeah. V'chenu bezohar. It says in the Zohar. Which we say in 1 second. V'yesh makilin, and some are lenient. And don't argue with someone who's lenient and has beef after the cheese. Leave them alone. They have to rinse their mouth and clean their mouth by eating and drinking something. And washing your hands, like the Rambam says. Shulchan doesn't say that. Is going to be strict. The Beit Yosef over here. This is the last thing we said last week. Quoted the Zohar. Ezra, remember the Zohar? Can you paraphrase the Zohar?
You're going to turn into a goat and
Besides for that, the Zohar says you're going to be, you're going to arouse the seed, and then for 40 days it's going to be in you, and if you have a child in this 40 days, the child's going to be. So the Zohar is so strict, and it's mashma from the Zohar that if it's dairy after meat, meat after dairy, it doesn't matter. Mashma from the Zohar. So according to the Zohar, it would seem very strict that we should be strict and not have dairy even after the meat. The Taz writes over here. When the Rama writes Ashkenaz, you should wait to have beef after cheese. He means 6 hours, just like cheese after beef, according to the Ashkenaz Rama. What is it called? Hard cheese. It means it was aged at least 6 months. If it wasn't aged 6 months, that's not called hard cheese. And the Rama would hold you can eat beef right after it.
These days, all the cheeses are the expiration date is more than 6 months.
But is it aged? I mean, the aging part. It's not like fermented.
and the expiration date is one thing. I think the aging is a whole process where it becomes a hard cheese. Right?
The texture changes.
And also there's some artificial aging. So not all artificially aged cheese.
What does that mean?
Chemically, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, that's what my dad was talking about. So there's a question: is it artificially aged? Does that have the same din as traditionally aged?
Well, we have to say the first person to bring up this age business is the Rama, not Shulchan Aruch. Guys, eat food. B'dafka, I didn't buy. There's no mizanot. There's no hamotzi. It's all she'akol and hadama.
Let's read it with a finger.
Oh, yeah, this one. Okay, now let's see the Ben Ish Chai. Thank you, Yair. Thank you. Let's see the Ben Ish Chai. Which one? Ben Ish? Cream cheese is not aged. No. The kesef. So kesef. Tell him it's a silver key. The silver key. The silver key. He wants to get a drink. Cream cheese is not aged. Okay, let's see the Ben Ish Chai. And the Ben Ish Chai, obviously, we just read the Zohar. The Zohar says very strict. And the Ben Ish Chai is always about Kabbalah. So let's see if he says it. Achal halav mutar le'echol harav basar miyad. On page 6. If you eat dairy, you're allowed to eat meat right after it. And צריך לקנח פיו יפה בפת של עשינו בעלינו. You have to wash your mouth. You have to clean your mouth with bread. We said there were 3 things that you cannot use to clean your mouth. What the Gemara says, the Rambam says, and the Shulchan Aruch says there are 3 things you can't clean: flour,
raw flour.
yeah, dates, cannot, dates, and vegetables, because it doesn't clean your mouth. It doesn't either. It's sticky, and it sticks too much to your mouth, and it makes the problem even worse because whatever you had there is going to be there, or it doesn't get between the teeth and take it out good. It doesn't have one form. So dates, flour, and vegetables you cannot use to clean your mouth. So you want to eat a salad or a carbohydrate or something else. Okay, not flour. What kind of powder? Sugar, I guess you could. And then you want to rinse with water. And he holds like the Rambam that you should wash your hands with water too. Then you can eat meat right away. You don't have to wait between dairy and meat. Even if you use the fork, like the Rambam, very strict. The Ben Ish Chai holds you have to wash. This washing, even you should use a keli, a vessel, a cup. Very strict. If you don't have water, the hak can use any liquid. What if you want to eat chicken after dairy? Says the Ben Ish Hai. You have to do it. Not like the Rambam, not like the Shulchan Aruch. He's strict. So then, give it to Yaakov. Give Yaakov or Adam. See, he's strict. He holds. Why? Probably because of the influence of the Zohar. Probably from the Zohar. He's very strict. If you don't have bread or something parv to eat in between, you could use fruit. Besides for flour, dates, and veggies.
Which direction we're going? Which direction?
What?
Food in between. Is it between beef and?
Oh, we're going between dairy and beef now. No, dairy and chicken or meat.
And you talked about certain things you can't use to.
Those three things are not utensils to clean your mouth. They're not flour, dates, and veggies. Those are not called cleaning your mouth.
So all vegetables.
Yeah. So there's a note. Some hold vegetables means cooked vegetables. Some hold it means raw vegetables. We're not sure which one it is. So the gemara said soft bread, but that's not the maskana of the gemara. Taminas is good. Everything besides for those three. Even though the maskana, the gemara in the hava amina, the gemara said you can't use barley, you can't use it. But at the end of the day, remember matzah? At the end of the day, you can use all that stuff. Look at the Ben Ish Hai. First, you have to eat the parv food, and then you wash your mouth with the water. He's giving an order. No one gave an order. The Gemara never gave an order. Rambam never gave an order. Ben Ish Hai has an order. First, eat the parv and then drink the parv. Marat Hanuch doesn't say this. It's mashma from Marat Hanuch. You want to eat the thing first and then drink, or drink and then eat. It doesn't matter as long as you accomplish the goal. Okay. What if you just chew the parv thing and you spit it out? It's okay if you did it. But preferably, we want you to eat and swallow the food. And anyway, what are you going to do? You're going to waste the food by spitting it out? It's wasting food. Now comes Hacham Ovadia in Halichot Olam. Says Hacham Ovadia, if you eat cheese or cream or butter and you want to eat meat afterwards, is Halakha L'Maaseh from Hacham Ovadia. You should first eat something parv, the fruit or the bread, and drink something. Swish it around your mouth and drink it. And then eat. Nothing about washing hands. Then says it doesn't matter if it's new cheese or old cheese. No washing. He doesn't care about the hard cheese. You hear this, Abe? He doesn't care. Now hold on, Yaakov. I didn't paste over here the Ben Ish Hai about the hard cheese. I know, but I didn't paste it. I didn't put that halacha here. No. But he says it. Ben Ish Hai writes it. I didn't put that piece here. I didn't put it here. So I'll say it up here. The Ben Ish Hai writes. Ready for Ezra? Ready for this? Ben Ish Hai writes the minhag in Baghdad. We have an Iraqi now. No, so he says the minhag in Baghdad is you wait 1 hour per month of aging of the cheese.
Each month, 1 hour?
Yeah. If the cheese, that's what Ben Ish Hai writes. You have to know it's unbelievable. It's kind of logical, I guess. Than 6 hours. I guess because like the longer it's aged, the more it's staying. Even according to Rashi, the flavor in your mouth. According to Rambam, it's going to stay in your teeth.
Where those aged for use?
6 months. 6 hours is the cap.
So forget about this like French cheese. It's like two.
But I think 6 hours is the cap. I think at 6 hours it stops. It can't be more garua than meat.
Right.
But at the Ben Ish Hai, 2 month age, 2 hours. 3 month age, Ben Ish Hai. I thought I pasted that. I didn't. That says doesn't matter whether it's aged or not aged. You don't have to wait in between. Says the Chamav Abal hashoteh halal. Even hard age says in the Chamav. We're going to read more. Abal hashoteh halav dailo behadahat hapev. Another kula. If you just drink milk or coffee, you didn't even eat. So why do you have to eat the parve food? To clean what out of your teeth? There's only liquid. So just drink the liquid in between the dairy, milk, or coffee, and then meat. It's another cool idea. The Gemara doesn't say this. Everybody got this? If you ate dairy food, you have to eat something
Now
carb.
this poskim don't make any difference just like how much that fila. It will just
No.
or it's
You
like
need your teeth. You need your teeth involved. That they say. If you just use your tongue, it's nothing. You're not even bisari.
As considered the fila.
It has to use your teeth.
Another thing. You have to swallow. Chew
It has to reach your teeth. No, not swallow. It has to reach your teeth. It's the same halacha as
Considered to be chewing.
yes, that's akila. But to make you meat, like if you had tasting food, if I want to taste it,
Right.
and I use my tongue only, no teeth, I'm not bisari, and I spit it out. But if I get my teeth, the second it hits my teeth, is why? Because we're hoshesh to Rambam. The fi Rashi, I would be meat on the tongue. Rashi holds it for ta'am.
Right.
But according to the Rambam, no, it's only about the teeth. It's not in my teeth, so it'll be makil.
So what if you drink with a straw?
If you drink with a straw, what do you drink? Chicken soup? You drink to, I think it hits your teeth in the back of your teeth. If you go like this, you're not meat because according to Rashi, you should be. See, so same thing with dairy. But according to Rambam, you wouldn't be. So we'll see the halakha in a second. Okay, so says the Chamadia, someone who has holes and crack. What is it called between the teeth? Space gaps between the teeth. And he ate cheese. And he's afraid that actually this guy might have cheese or pizza or something in between his teeth. You should brush your teeth before eating meat. You should, because you have gaps in your teeth. If you had the custom, like Iraqi, let's say Yossi from his family, if you had the custom that you waited an hour or 2 hours between dairy and meat, and you knew that it wasn't the halacha, but you just did it anyway, then you should keep it, because you weren't fooled. You knew the halacha, and you were strict. If you waited an hour or 2 hours between cheese, because you thought you had to, until what is Adam? You hear that? Something's beeping.
It's beeping though.
In the probably.
Really? Should we close the door? If you waited between dairy and meat because you thought that was the halacha, and now you're reading this and you know it's not the halacha, don't even need hatara. Now you learn the halacha because you were mistaken. You didn't know. There you go. So come on, yeah. The Ramah holds that and the Ben Ish Chai holds that, but the Chamadia says no. Now let's see Hacham Yitzhak Yosef. He doesn't talk about hard cheese at all. It's the Ramah. So now, Sfaradim are going to be very lenient in this. Let's see Hacham Yitzhak Yosef. Says Hacham Yitzhak, if you eat dairy and then you want to eat meat, you could eat right after the dairy. You could have the meat. Even old hard cheese, says Hacham Yitzhak Yosef. Is that cheddar?
Yellow.
Yellow is cheddar, right? Givina meluha, salted. What is this?
Like a Greek cheese.
Yeah.
Givina meshuleshet.
I think that's like
What is that?
Swiss cheese.
Oh, like what's
Like
meshuleshet?
green cheese, no?
Meshuleshet is
The chain? Oh, maybe the peeled cheese. The cheese you peel.
Or Swiss cheese. Maybe like a. You know how Swiss cheese comes in triangle?
Yeah, that. Givina sefatit, French cheese. What's French cheese?
Brie.
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 As long as you follow the guidelines of the gemara, which means you eat something parv, you drink something parv, chew it good, so it gets cleans the whole mouth. Take a swig, swish it around, and drink it. And look at your hands, there's no teeth left on it. You can eat the meat. You don't have to wash your hands, like the Rambam says, and you don't have to wait. It's a big hula. I think a lot of people don't know this halakha. According to us, Faradim. If it's nighttime where you can't see your hands, then you should wash them like the Rambam says. There's two nun though. If you eat, go ahead, help me, Yaakov. If you eat butter or cream, like that. It stays in your teeth,
Right.
like a Alfredo, maybe like a fettuccine Alfredo, maybe something thick like this. Yes, that's this. Then you should really eat and clean your mouth. What if you want to have just chicken and not beef? So it's only the banan. Chicken is not meat. Whoa, nothing.
Ethiopian Jews, they eat it together.
Wow, are you serious?
They have this Torah, they eat chicken and they eat together.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very lenient. Could you imagine someone having pizza and like, oh, pass me the chicken? Like, I can't even imagine growing up the way we grew up.
Because they claim that this Anaga was even before the Takana.
Before, wow. Huh? It's the banan.
I mean, certainly can't have chicken milk.
No, we won't do that. But right afterwards, he said, you don't have to eat anything parv, you don't have to drink anything. Very, very lenient. After even those who hold you should wait after eating hard aged cheese, like the Benish High. A woman who just gave birth, or someone who's not feeling so well. If they say they want beef and they don't feel well, or she just gave birth and said, no, you just had cheddar cheese. Leave the lady alone, give her what she wants. The pregnant woman, she would actually have a hard time with the pregnancy. And or someone who's nursing who's having a hard time lactating. Or kids, and let them eat whatever they want. Don't even restrict. Yeah.
Women are absolved from anything time related.
Yeah.
So
but not lotan says. Only says. This would be a lotan says. Like we said, you can eat anything par. Abal, you cannot use. What are the three? We had this 15 times already. Dates, flour, veggies. Because they stick to your gums and your teeth and they don't clean well. That's what they say. Like the Benish High said, there's no order to it. You could drink first, eat first, drink first, whatever you want. It's nice to be strict with the Benish High and eat the parv food first, and then drink the thing. Because if the bread didn't catch anything, the drink will catch whatever the bread missed. I knew the Ashkenazim waited after hard cheese. They waited 6 hours. 6 hours. I didn't grow up doing that.
6 hours.
2.5 hours.
Wow. What about you, Adam? You waited? You wait?
Which way?
Hard cheese, you wait?
That's how you-
I didn't grow up waiting.
You didn't go up waiting.
No.
And then Lakewood, what did
They wait
How long?
6 hours, I think.
20 minutes.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
6 hours.
I don't know. I'm what I thought. I'm not Ashkenaz. I think that's what they do. After eating hard cheese, before you eat meat. I don't know. I think I'm not Ashkenaz. I don't know. That's what I think. I grew up not waiting because the Manan doesn't say it. Manan's honest. No. I'm only in my skin color. My skin color is not Ashkenaz. Yes, some say that you have to swallow the par food, but you can't just spit it out. But if you just chewed it and you spat it out, it's fine and it still works. You can use any liquid to rinse your mouth. Also, you don't have to swallow the water. You can swish around and spit that out too. But you can't spit out good wine because you're wasting good wine. Who would do that? So maybe you don't want to drink. I don't know. You say, I don't want to drink. I just want to eat
you could swallow it also.
You should swallow. Better to. You should. But someone said, I don't want to swallow it. So the fine, you swish around and spit it out. You can do both at once if you want. You want to eat something, put the bread in your mouth, and drink the water at the same time. Or dip the bread in the liquid. Dip the bread in the chicken soup or something. No, not chicken soup. Dip the bread in the ade soup. ויאכל את הפת, ובא שיבליע בפת הרבה משקה, אף יותר טוב, it's better to do each one separately. Next. If someone has gaps in their teeth, or שהם שבורות ופירודות ואכל גבינה, and then he eats the hard cheese, ויש לך שנשאר מחתיכת הגבינה בתוך הנגבים של שנה, ואני going to be afraid that there's going to be cheese left in his teeth, יש לו לחסות שיניו היטב, מפני שאוכל בשר, he should brush his teeth within 6 hours if he wants to eat. After 6 hours, he doesn't have to brush his teeth anymore. That's the right thing to do. After 6 hours, forget it. You don't have to brush your teeth either. If you want to brush your teeth, you can eat meat right away. If you don't have gaps in your teeth, then you don't have this problem. Now, Benish Hai said you should use a keli when you wash your hands. Says Chamishak, you don't have to use a keli. If Shali told Bem Bikli, Bem Shlobikli, you don't need a vessel. It doesn't have to be poured from a person. It's fine. Just open the sink. And let's talk about to the next one. Where are you? Well, I have to read it. No, let's read the whole thing. בשעת הדחק כגון שהוא בדרך מאין המים ירטוב בשעה משכין ואין מועיל לששף שאתה בכותל וכן חזק דעת פוסל בהם. If you don't have, I think he's trying to say if you don't have water, I'll be masiach da'at from the seudah, and maybe I don't know what he's saying. You have to check it over there in F by Minha. You step at bookshop. Taf mem aleph. Check what he says. Hajoteh halad nozili. If you're drinking liquid milk, but osea hakat l'chol batar, you want to eat meat, even beef. You don't have to wash your hands. Just drink the water. You don't have to eat the food. Very lenient. And then you want to you eat cheese in the daytime, and then you want to eat beef. Some say since the daytime you don't have to wash your hands, like Shaarey. Just look at your hands. Only at nighttime when you can't see your hands you should wash. And others say even in the daytime you should wash your hands. And the opinion will be like the second one. If you don't have water, it's okay. You don't have to. These are all humrot. According to Rashi, the flavor, and according to Rambam, the basat stays in the teeth. So that's the problem. And hard cheese. The hard cheese would be the same issue according to the people who worry about hard cheese. According to us, according to the Maran, cheese doesn't have that element of either or. According to Rambam, beef does. Beef is stringy. So according to Rambam, I understand. You always find a piece of steak in your mouth. If I do. Beef stays. Okay.
And that's the only reason?
Rashi is flavor and Rambam is beef. That's the reason. And the Rambam is beef. If you use the fork, and your hands are clean, then you don't have to wash your hands, whether it's day or it's night. But it's good to wash your hands if you want to. Okay, now. Let's do non-tet. Someone who was strict on himself and he didn't eat beef after cheese unless he waited an hour or two, like the Chamar says, and he knew this was a humrah and a hasidut, then he should continue the humrah and he should be blessed. But if he thought he was doing the halacha and now he realized he's not, he doesn't. Yeah, he says hatara. If the first way, if you want to stop being mahmir, just do hatara and don't be mahmir anymore. Misha akal ma'akale halav. Someone who had dairy, and then he has meat, we're in Samach. If you had derech and mivu'eret, like we explained how to do it, this is what Yaakov was saying. Do you have to finalize your dairy? You have pizza. Do I have to have a katamazon before I have the cheese, the chicken, or I just jump right into the chicken in one meal? Some say you should have b'acha hauna and then have the meat. And others hold. He doesn't say.
But normally you don't have kavanah to eat dairy and meat.
It's true, but you're the Baal Bayit. I don't know if you're the Baal Bayit, then anything I want.
I mean, most of the time, you eat something dairy.
It's a good point. What he's saying is, if you don't have kavanah on a certain food, then you have zebaracha, not because of basar and halal, because you didn't have kavanah on the food. Like if your wife brought home a filet mignon, you had no clue she was ever going to bring that home, But there's something called da'at ba'al habayit, which means anything I want, I'm going to eat.
Including.
Like stam da. Also, oreach has it. Anything that ba'al habayit gives me, I'm going to eat. Stam ba'al habayit. Now, last one, and then I'll switch to the parasha real quick. Like we said, we're lenient. If it's chicken, just jump right into it. All these laws applies only to beef. Some are strict after dairy before chicken, and they also wash their mouth and eat something, and it's a nice thing to do, but you don't have to do it. These are the halachot for basad after halal. And now,
It's like I should do something like mixing fish and
fish and dairy we did one.
Oh, you did?